Putin, show me the money. Russia is doing so great, withstanding all international sanctions. Then show me the money. Where's my money? You see, Putin can't show me my money. In February of 2024, there isn't much money left in Russia. Let's find out where the money has gone to. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, no propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions too, because I'm a human being after all. Do you think I'll be talking about the economy today? No. Much better. I'll be talking about money. I, as a Russian taxpayer and a law-abiding citizen, want to see the money that Russia has. The Fund of National Welfare, to be exact. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Forget about economic rules, budgeting, expenses, GDP, oil experts. Forget about all that stuff that I usually talk about. We talked about it in the past, and it's not the topic of today's live stream. It's much more simple today. It's about money. And money is simple. You either have it or you don't. You either can pay your bills or your checks bounce. Luckily, Russia has a savings account. It has been stashing all that extra money since 2024. Well, pardon me, not 2020. 2004, coming from high oil prices. Russia has the money, or does it? There's nothing to worry about. Russia is doing great. That's what Vladimir Putin says. He would not lie to us, or would he? Anyway, all is well. Then, Putin, show me the money. Sesame, open that magical Fund of National Welfare. Wait a second. What do you mean? It's already been open? What do you mean other people came and grabbed the money? It's my money. It's our money. It's the Russian taxpayers' money. They couldn't have done that. They could have taken it without us. Ooh, it's not looking good. Anyway, let's take a closer look at Russian taxpayers' riches. The Fund of National Welfare. If went back a couple years, you'd see an apocalyptic pictures painted. Right after Russia invaded Ukraine and started killing Ukrainians, every world leader, every politician started threatening Russia with so many sanctions that its economy would instantly incinerate to ashes. And every economist started predicting quick, if not sudden death, myself included. It made very much sense back then, only that incineration, that sudden death, did not happen due to one simple reason. The sanctions placed upon Russia, and there were so many sanctions placed, at first they had a very opposite effect. Well, at least some of them. Yes, instead of drying Russia out of money, it filled it with record amounts of American dollars. Let me explain you how. First, sanctions were about oil, Well, let's talk about oil first. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Western governments declared intentions to sanction Russian oil. Did you hear me right? I'll repeat. They announced the intentions. Based on those announcements of intentions, oil prices all over the world started skyrocketing. But the Western governments were still buying Russian oil, paying high prices. Moreover, they were stockpiling Russian oil, making huge reserves out of it. On one hand, they were saying that they had the intentions to place sanctions onto Russian oil. On the other hand, they were buying as much as they could store. And Russia was raking in American dollars, showing historic high record export sales. Just remember how much you were paying at the gas stations back in March, April, May of 2022. That your dollars went straight to Russian budget. So the intentions finally became the reality on December 6, 2022, about 8 months late. Until then, for almost entire 2022, Russia had a pretty darn good money run. Second sanctions that helped Russia were many money transfer limitations. Russian banks were cut off international bank transfer system called SWIFT, SWIFT, making it nearly impossible to transfer money out of Russia. I myself know of that very much. Every Russian knows, especially those who fled Russia. That, in turn, made capital, the money, to stay inside Russia. If there weren't any sanctions, any limitations on taking money out of Russia, then Russian money would flow out of Russia freely, causing a huge blow to Russian economy. Instead, the opposite, very opposite happened. Russian money stayed in Russia. And the third package of the sanctions that helped Russia were making it very difficult for all Russians to enter some countries due to visa limitations. Millions of decent war-opposing Russians could have departed Russia taking along their brains, hands, skills, experience, and their money. But instead, other countries make it so difficult for them to come that those Russians were forced to stay. So in terms of money for the Russian government, 2022 turned out to be not too shabby. Let's jump to 2023 and talk about that. But before I do that, I'd like to ask you to help me out a bit. Number 1, please hit the like button. Number 2, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so you get all the notifications. Number 3, please make reposts of this in your social media accounts. But the most important thing, please leave a comment. Ask me a question or let me know whether you agree or disagree with me. And if you have nothing to say, nothing to ask, just leave a couple lines of encouragement. It'll be a pleasure for me to read. Your comments do wonders for this message exposure and reaching out to more people. And you can always buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Become a channel's patron at patreon.com. Never required, but always greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. So let's jump to 2023. Last year, things started getting worse for the Russian government in terms of money flow. Oil revenues started drying up. Finally, after the sanctions were imposed, it's called the price ceiling, price cap for Russian oil, and it was imposed in December of 2022. The government needed other ways to keep financing the war and financing the Siloviki, those who use violence against law-abiding Russian citizens. And of course, Russian government found ways. First, they increased taxes and fines. Large companies were hit with one-time extra tax, and citizens were slammed with so many new taxes. Nothing huge, but small increases in many taxes and many new fines in 2023. Also, Russian government started borrowing like crazy. But they couldn't access international money markets. Hey, some sanctions do work after all. Instead, they started borrowing from the inside Russia by issuing and selling treasury bills. And that's not cheap money, far from cheap. They borrowed the record amount in 2023, 2.5 trillion rubles. Now, the debt is at record high of 18.1 trillion rubles. But increased taxes and fines and borrowing was not nearly enough to feed increasingly demanding siloviki and the military-industrial complex. The expenses have been growing like crazy over the past 24 months. You've got to have something else and something more. You've got to keep money flowing. And that flowing, you need to finance. You need to keep putting money to fuel the war. And Russia sure does have it. It does have the money. The Fund of National Welfare, or we can call it FNW. What is it? It's basically, in very simple words, it's Russia's savings account. The reserve fund, so to speak. Black days money. That stash of money, the reserves that you save up in case something happens to your job, things like that, then you can use that money to get by. And that's what Russia's National Welfare Fund is. Russia started enjoying excessive money flowing in 2001, when all of a sudden oil prices started surging. And starting in 2004, Russian government started taking some of that unexpected oil revenues and stashing it away into the national savings account. It changed names a few times over the years, but the idea still remained the same. The reserve account, the black days money. Over the years, this Fund of National Welfare was growing. In 2007, it had 7 trillion rubles. And right before the war, in early 2022, the fund amounted to 13.6 trillion rubles. Russian government was simply not spending that money. Sesame was not open. It was well sealed. Even when people needed that money very bad, for example, during the COVID years, the fund was sealed. The sesame was closed. Now I'm looking back, and of course, before I couldn't even think of it, but looking back now, knowing what I know now, it sure does seem like Russian government knew that it was going to invade Ukraine. It knew that it was going to have lots of money needed to basically finance the war. So that's pretty sinister. Well, I live, I learn. The fund was opened in 2022. That's right, to finance the war. Someone important said, "Sesame open, open sesame," whatever is right. And they started coming and taking the money, grabbing the money. On January 1st, 2024, there was 11.9 trillion rubles left in the Fund of National Welfare. That's the number given to all Russian people from all over, all the media, from the propaganda to all the taxpayers. 11.9 trillion rubles left in the fund. That was created using their money. I was going to say your money, but that's not too many Russian taxpayers watching me. My money, Russia's taxpayers' money. Imagine how shocked people became when they learned that it is not true. Listen to this. There are 11.9 trillion rubles currently in the Fund of National Welfare. But it's not the real money. The fund is divided into two parts. Liquid assets such as cash and gold, And investments. You see, over the last 2 years, Russian government, well, heck, over the last probably 10 years, Russian government agencies such as the Ministry of Finance have been tapping into the fund. So Sesame was open, but it was closed for everyone except for the very selected few people and agencies, okay? From TV, they were telling Russian people that everything was great, everything is going according to the plan, and Russia is withstanding all sanctions, pressure from other countries, from the evil satanic West. But in reality, things weren't so great. You know, telling "I told you so" would be, I think, understatement right now. Okay, as I was telling that in my streams how many dozens of times, things were not going well, and now we start learning about that. And you know how those things that were not going well were being covered, and these problems that appeared, how they were solved? By using cash from the Fund of National Welfare. Plain and simple. For example, a Russian state-owned railroad company called RŽD was hit by a number of problems after the start of the war. You know, it has a lot of railroad tracks right next to Ukraine. It needed extra maintenance. The passenger revenues dropped. Lack of domestic equipment. Foreign companies that supplied train agents left, such as Siemens. Servicing, you know, you name it. RŽD was hit by a bunch of problems. So in 2022, Russian government just granted RŽD 467 billion rubles. Money gone. But on paper, that's investment. Another example, Russian aviation industry has been in big trouble. Problems have been growing like avalanche. Servicing, spare parts, new parts, planes, you know, so tons of problems. In 2023, the government took out 300 billion rubles and temporarily bailed out Russian airlines. It simply gave airlines this money to spend, to sugarcoat the problems. Or it's allocated Gazprom, Russia's one and only gas extracting and exporting company, 900 billion rubles. Another bail to build a new liquid gas port, and that's not just the entire amount, that's the amount that is remaining, okay? Or, for example, way back in 2014, it loaned Ukraine 300 billion rubles right before Maidan would happen. Basically, it was a bribe to the old crooked President Yanukovych. The money is gone. The court decision has been made abroad, you know. I believe it was in London. Ukraine's not going to give that money back to Russia, but on paper, it's still investment. It's still a part of foundation of national welfare. That all money spent, but on paper, they are assets, they are investments. It's the same thing if I told you, hey, I'm a multimillionaire because over 40 years of my life, I've spent so much money, I've invested into different cars, into so much food, into different apartments, into, I don't know, clothing. I've invested into so much clothing. And that's all, you know, my net worth. But everything is gone. I ate the food. I wore clothing into 2 holes. I, you know, sold my cars and money spent. You know, it's the same thing. The Russian government is saying, well, it's all investments. It's all there. It's 11.9 trillion rubles right now. So this is where magic happens. It looks like it's black magic. On paper, this fund of national welfare. The taxpayers were beefing up for, 15 years. Again, it's 11.9 trillion rubles. But in reality, the liquid assets that can be spent on anything right now are only 3.9 trillion rubles. Black magic. But let's take a closer look at that liquid asset part. I don't really trust the Russian government, not one single word, so I tried to investigate myself. Is that money? In what currency? How fast it can be spent? It must be in American dollars, the reserve currency of the world, right? Wrong! Half of this fund of national welfare is in Chinese yuan, and half is in gold. There are two huge problems with that. Chinese yuan is not a fiat currency. Basically, its value is set by the Chinese government. It's sort of like Soviet ruble back in the days. The Chinese make up exchange rate of yuan to other currencies every morning. And it's a huge risk for Russia if Chinese want to devalue yuan to make their goods more competitive in the foreign markets. Russia is out of luck because it has yuan as the currency of the Fund of National Welfare, the investments, so to speak. And gold, usually gold is good. I like gold. I don't have gold, but if I had a choice, I'd go for gold, But Russian gold is trouble. It's under sanctions. No one can buy it from Russia. Therefore, Russia must use shady techniques, black market to somehow sell it, given huge discounts and huge chains of different companies to make such deals in the dark. And again, who would be buying gold in hundreds of metric tons unnoticed anyways? Very few potential customers for Russia right now. So I'm getting back to the question I asked in the beginning. Putin, show me the money. You either have it or you don't. And if you do, show me the money. Well, I know the answer. There's no money left. He cannot show me or anyone money. You see, this is why I am so sure that 2024 will be a disaster for Russian economy. Because I know that Russia is out of its reserves. The savings are gone. Putin needs to come up with something different from just taking money out of people's savings. And he will. I have no doubt about that. More taxes, both personal and business, more fines, devaluing Russian ruble. Right now, it's trading in the low 90s. But let's see what happens in mere 12 weeks. Confiscating personal assets and real estate of decent people, labeling them foreign agents and things like that. You know what? But every single measure like that is a very unpopular, and it'll be putting more pressure on the economy. And economy, as we know it, the foundation of the regime. And as we know it, not good things happen when the foundation starts eroding. Pressure builds up. As a Russian taxpayer, in any other circumstances, I would be absolutely irate. My money has been spent. Well, spent is not the word. Wasted? Stolen, perhaps the right word. Irate. But today, in February 2024, looking at this picture of Russian money gone, I don't mind. That's okay. I agree. I approve. No money is fine with me in February 2024. And this has been my message. Thank you for your attention. I would like everyone to carry on to the live stream chat and ask me questions or let me know what you think. I would love to talk to you. That's that's my most favorite part of any stream. Thank you so very much. Let me just turn live stream chat on, and there we go. Let me know how you liked my today's message. Thank you. And thanks for liking, by the way. 2,800 people watching right now and 900 likes. Well, it's not bad. Not the best, but not bad. Thank you. As usual, I'm opening chat in a new window. It's much easier for me to do that. And while I am doing that, I would like to let you know that if you have for the first time, know that this community inside Russia has the best moderation team in the world. Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potnin, and Amir Fazad. Great people, fantastic friends, and excellent, the best moderators. Thank you. Thank you so much. And the usual suspects, every time I see your faces showing up, and the first one, of course, is Dirk from Germany, from Dortmund, and Frank from Bavaria, and Just Terry and Paula W, Master Q, Leitmotiv for me, Mario Durin, Jules Rames, Lilith Eden, Sam K, the legend, John Pathra Olson, and Lord of Grape. Ho ho. Fantastic. Thank you, friends, for coming and giving me a chance. I hope you liked today's message. I hope you found something interesting for you. And I would like to ask you, as usual, if you want me to read the messages easier, please put all your words in caps, all caps, and put Inside Russia after @ so your message is highlighted in orange, and I see that well. Thank you so very much. Just like Leitmotiv for me did. Thank you. Sam K did as well. John from Liverpool. Fantastic. Ferrari guy, long time no see. Veronica, also. Howdy, howdy. Just Jimmy, howdy. Mr. Wati, live from Sweden, howdy, friend. Mac from the UK. Tom W, Faith, an American from Spain. Bob, good to see you, from Albuquerque, USA. Mark, the underdog. TJ, Heidi, hi. Frank in Texas, the pillar of Inside Russia. Andrew Hodson, Ken Tyler. Hello, friends. Florian Gay, am I pronouncing it right? Thank you so much. Hey, Konstantin or Guy. I'm sorry if I misspelled. I apologize. I get confused with names quite easily. Konstantin, watching you for 2 years now, and you do great job. It gives a lot of understanding of what's going on. Please go on. Best greetings from German Baltic Sea. Guten Abend and danke schön. Thank you so much. Words of encouragement, much appreciated. And I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. You know, when I was studying at school and I was learning English, at least bits and pieces, they taught us that gay was like cheerful. It's the same thing like happy, like you smile, and things like that. I was so shocked when I learned the different meaning of this word. English is tricky. That's what I'm getting at. So very tricky. Easier for me to speak Russian than English. Boris, thank you so much. Military analysts in the West wonder why Russia constantly claims it shoots down its own planes. To many of them, something like this seems absolutely illogical. Can you help explain this? Boris, I have not heard anyone any Russian official in Russia claim that it shot down its own plane. One. All claims are unofficial. Not one. Not single one. Half of them, more than half of them, they just don't acknowledge that the plane was shot down by anyone. As if nothing happens. That's what they're acting. And then less than half of them, the rest, they say, well, Ukrainians shot it down. Who we hear is there is a category of people like war reporters, Z people at the front lines, and sometimes some of them report the truth. They report breaking news, and this is how we know. They're subject of sanctioning, but it takes a while for them to get sanctioned. Not sanctioning. Filtering. What's this word? When they tell you what you cannot say. Filtrating. Anyway, there's a certain lag. They write something in their telegrams, and that's true. And then the message disappears in a few hours, okay? But this is how we know that Russians shoot down their own planes. So thank you so much. MacFun from Switzerland, howdy friend, long time no see. Hello Konstantin, what do you think will change as soon as Putin is re-elected? This is exactly what I said at the later part of the stream. I think that Russia is Russia will go through many economic challenges, big challenges. First of all, they will start with devaluing ruble. Watch ruble going down compared to dollar. Right now, it's like 91, 92 rubles daily trade. It's going to hit 100 fairly soon. There's a very good possibility that they will impose new tax on Russian people. It's called added value tax or sales tax. And right now it's 20%, which is high. They most likely will add some more. There are rumors that Elvira Nabiulina is going to get sacked and replaced by a fella. He's the economic advisor to Vladimir Putin. His last name is Areshkin. Well, that's the rumors. I don't know how to take them. But that's definitely possible. Mobilization, new wave of mobilization might be introduced. And the terror against citizens will be on the increase. The confiscations of properties will begin, and not so fast, such wonderful things. And of course, new taxes will be slammed on people. So this is what I think it will start happening soon after Putin is re-elected. Black Cat, thank you, friend. Yes, we are praying. I prayed myself, and I will be praying today with everyone for Mammy K and her mother. Thank you so much. Sam K, the legend. At least Mr. Putin can have a heart attack. Can't have one of them without heart. Plus, it's possible Putin brainwashed himself somehow. In case with Vladimir Putin, I think it's plain and simple. And the explanation is when you watch the movie called Lord of the Rings, it starts with Gollum. Gollum, the story of a Gollum, how he was a decent person, and then he found the Ring of Power. And the ring changed him over time, and he became who he became, the Golem. And I think that Vladimir Putin, some 24 years ago, found his ring of power. And now we're looking at what is left or what's happened to him, okay? That's probably the most logical explanation that I have about Putin. Bob Brennan, thank you so much. Always appreciate your perspective. How do most Russians react as dead soldiers return from Ukraine? tragedy. I think Russians in general, they don't care much because they keep on living in their bubbles. And inside their bubbles, there are no dead soldiers. But families of dead soldiers, well, how can you take your dad, your son, your relative, your uncle, your nephew, who comes in a coffin from war? How do you take that? Okay, I think that they take it in a very same way. Okay, and they blame Ukrainians. I've seen it so many times. They blame Ukrainians, so that's Ukrainians kill them. And when someone starts asking questions like, "What did this guy? What did he do? Like, what was he doing in Ukraine?" That's a very aggressive, very harsh reaction. They can even beat you up. They can harm you for asking that. They do not have those thoughts in their minds. Okay, that's just tragedy, and they blame Ukrainians. That's what happens. Magda, thank you so much. Great stream. Why need China credit in yuan from China? Do they need it to cover the cost of general mobilization in Russia? Wait a second. I did not say that Russia is asking for a credit in yuan from China. What I said was that Russia has savings account, and for the past 2 years, it was selling American dollars and European euros, which it had plenty before, and buying Chinese yuan, because Vladimir Putin decided to ditch American dollar as a mean of payment in Russia. And he was bragging about it for a long time, and all the Russians were happy about that. I couldn't understand. It's one of those mysteries to me. I was asking myself and everyone, why are you so happy that you're ditching American dollar? Well, because we're going to destroy American dollar, because we're going to destroy American financial system, because, it's going to hurt so much without Russian oil being paid in dollars for. And I was thinking to myself, they can't be crazy like that, American dollar, American economy will not notice this. But you're shooting yourself into both feet again, or legs again. And this is exactly what happened. They ditched up dollar, and now they cannot, they need dollars, but they cannot buy it. They have $56 billion frozen in India because it's not in dollars. If India was buying Russian oil and paying in dollars, Russia would not have any problems transferring money out of India into Russia. But in rupees, in the local currency, money is stuck there in India. And basically Russians don't know what to do with them. Same with yuan. The only place where you can spend yuan is in China. So Russia's keeping its cash in yuan, which is a big mistake in my opinion. But perhaps you meant, why is Russia trying to get a credit from China? This is the latest development, okay? Russian Ministry of Finance just admitted that it's been trying to get a loan from the Chinese government. The Chinese government has been declining to loan Russia money, okay? Another slap on the face to Russia, Okie dokie. Samsa, thank you so much for being here again. Fantastic. Ranked Scrub, thank you, from Canada. Will Russia get the irony of Beijing invading Siberia? I didn't understand the question. What irony? Sorry. Frank in Texas, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for sponsoring 5 people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Tina, Ferrari Guy, Reinhard, Linda, and Mukul, sponsors courtesy of Frank. Thank you so much. Craig Hughes, congratulations, Sweden. Hungary just voted for them to join NATO. Well, the biggest obstacle was Turkey, but I guess Turkey made a deal, and it was obvious that Turkey was after something, not letting Finland and Sweden join NATO. Well, it made a deal with the Americans, and Finland and Sweden are in NATO, and that's something. I think was F-16s. The purchase of X. I'm not not 100% sure, but that's something military. And yes, congratulations, Sweden. I made a post about it about 3 weeks ago. I was absolutely sure that Hungary would vote Sweden in, and it did. And now Sweden is a member of NATO in good standing. Congratulations, folks. I bet you're feeling good. You're feeling much safer now. It's good for you. Amir, thank you so much for sponsoring 10 people. Thank you, friend. KG1, could Moldova be Putin's next target using Transnistria's support for Russia as the excuse? Very complicated question. Thank you. Very good one. I don't know. At this point, I'm not ready to answer. There are very strange developments happening inside Transnistria that is controlled by Russia. The senators or the deputies of the local parliament, they are calling for referendum or to make a decision to join Russia. Just what happened with Crimea and with these 4 provinces of Ukraine. I will research more. I will see what's happening. Again, I'm not an expert on Moldova, but it's definitely is on the radar of my interest, and I'll be talking on that later. Thank you so much. Magda, thank you so much. Can Ukraine survive Russian mobilization because Ukraine have problems to find soldiers? I think that if Ukraine receives military backup from the USA and Europe, then it has a very good chance of surviving. If it doesn't, if it has a limited amount of ammo, guns and stuff like that, it's going to be in trouble. But again, I'm not a military expert. I don't know much about what's going on the front lines. Okay, it's just common sense. What? There are rumors that Solovyov is dead, awaiting confirmation. Let me check something out. I tell you what, if Solovyov was dead, I'd know. Could you please state your source? Because that's very important. Where did you get the rumors from? And folks, one more thing I'd like to publicly say that I think I misinformed you on one occasion. Not too long ago, I made a Friday crazy news update stream, and I put a video, and I cited Russian Telegram channels. Z people were posting about that. There's a video, but they were referring to some kind of Western news agency, and I cannot find it. So if I don't find it until Friday, then I'm gonna make an official statement saying that that can be not true. Okay, so I don't know. I cannot find the source. And one of the users brought it up to my attention. And you know what? Everyone, I'm asking you, please, if you think that I am wrong, I'm off on something, write me. Explain why, and bring your sources. Because sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm wrong on things, but every time I come forward and admit. So the particular news I'm talking about is that the Hussites or whatever, that gangsters, they do not attack ships if those ships have a large pictures of Vladimir Putin on them. Okay, and there's some Western agency came up with that news, but I cannot find what that agency is. Okay, could be just Russian propaganda, but again, I'll keep on looking. Thank you. Liz Dumbrell, thank you so much. I think Putin has small man syndrome. You know what they say about small? Yes, I do. I don't know. I still stick to my opinion that he found his ring of power, very powerful one, and it has corrupted him absolutely incredibly. I remember Putin, young Putin, when he just became the president of Russian Federation, he was saying very many good things, saying, look, I will never, ever run for presidency, become president for over 2 terms. Never. I live by the Constitution of Russian Federation, blah, blah, blah. And we're all listening and we're like, wow, this is great. We like that. I like that. Okay, but what happened to this guy? Jekyll, thank you so much for coming from Australia. You usually do not include message into super chats. You do now, and that's double valuable, twice as valuable. In 10 years' time, this wall will be a footnote in history. People living through World War I and World War II would think the world have ended, but it will get better. Thank you, friend. This is very good, encouraging words. And, without words like that, my life would be so much more difficult, Sometimes it gets bad and I start despairing. And I get messages like this. And when I have messages like this from different people, that really helps. That sets me to look into a different direction. There's a good case. One of the members here, the one who gave me a super chat, I don't want to name, he wrote me sounding desperate, that he was depressed. And I wrote a letter, encouraging letter, how I felt. And then he said, he thanked me, saying that, words like that very valuable and priceless. And then I did the same thing. I was on one of the streams. I said that I was losing hope, and he wrote me such email that encouraged me a lot, a great deal. So, and Jekyll, thank you so very much. Small pieces like this, small phrases, words, many of them set me into a different direction. That actually make me feel better, make me more hopeful. Thank you, friend. Palvia Flex, if Russia would get Chinese yuan, the following sanctions is not that China does not want. Well, China is not going to get into trouble if Russia is buying Chinese yuan, Collective West, welcome. They have made you the enemy, and they're saying that you are satanic. and no good in general. Russia says it is in talks about yuan loan. China will lend money for Russia to buy Chinese stuff. Well, Russia is saying that it's in the talks with the Chinese, and I think it's in the talks. And I think one of the topics on the agenda of Vladimir Putin's visit to China that happened in late 2022 was securing such a loan. But Chinese, you see, they're very kind of smart people, okay? They are also in the talks with Russians to issue them a loan. But then information came today that they have been in talks with Russians to issue Russia a loan since 2017. So I guess Chinese, they just like to talk, and they talk a long time. The mods weren't very nice to Nightbot. Dirk, Nightbot is a kind of disaster. I can't get it up and running. I apologize. Mikhail Talth, thank you so much. I have heard that too, and Russian propaganda is irate with the French. Heidi, do you see China moving in on a broken Russia? Thank you for good words about the stream. I do not. I think China will be using soft power, soft expansion. It will be just settling its citizens in the border regions of Russia, and Russians won't be able to do anything. They will wake up one day, and then it's not Russia anymore, but what's Russia, but with the Chinese, and then something happens, and then it becomes China. Okay? So if China sends troops on a broken Russia, that's going to be no fighting. Just like that, you know. One day there, one day in, and Russians won't do nothing about that. Won't do anything. Liz, thank you so very much for your support. Nightbot on vacation on a rocket to observe the moon. Yeah, to the moon and back. Marcel Springer, good Abend. Eddie VDV, thank you so much. Hindustan times Houthi. Okay. Jan Keller, thank you so much. Guten Abend and danke schön. Joao Morenos, do you think the fact some Western countries are thinking of sending military observers to help Ukraine in the war is making the Kremlin turn brown? I think so. Well, just look at what Dmitry Medvedev has been mumbling about lately, and then you will understand everything. I think that they're making him very, very mad. And look at this. Crusader Damien, the best questions on Inside Russia. Thank you, friend. Constantine, we're all going through ups and downs. At least we're going through the tragic event together. Amen to that, yes. Thank you for your message. Thank you, Crusader Damien. Yes, we do go through ups and downs, and like I said, I have quite a few emotions. I'm just a human being. That's all. Integrated precision viticulture. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Thank you so much. Great message today from Australia. Don't try and say my name. Oh, I did. Integrated precision viticulture. Marcus Ott, I tend to agree with you. Rick, howdy. Is there another part to this series, Kay? No, it's actually a standalone stream. That was part number 2 day before yesterday. Yesterday part number 1, and yesterday was not part number 2, and that's it. Tomorrow I'm working on international news update, seen from Russia. Thursday will be a stream, a regular stream with a topic. Most likely I'll be covering the elections. You know that Russian elections, presidential elections that have already started? The election has already started. 25th, 2 weeks, they started serving those Russians who are far away, like on a northern pole or on big ships sailing somewhere, things like that, you know. Very soon they start all over continental Russia. And there are no opponents to Vladimir Putin. Anyway, wait until Thursday. It's actually funny. For Russians, it's sad and tragic, but for you, it's funny. And I don't understand why Russians don't understand that how tragic it is. It's their life, and it's being destroyed right in front of them, and they seem just not care about that. Beats me. That's one of the mysteries I don't understand. Life is so precious. It is given to every single one of us, and that's the most important thing that we have, life, right? Life, our kids, our family. What else? Money, power, that stuff is not really important. Life. And this gang is just ruining lives of so many millions of Russians. And Russians don't care. Like it's not happening to them. Oi. Boris, thank you, friend, for this question. Dear Konstantin, what kind of spirits do you like? Personally, I'm a big rum fan. I used to drink when I was younger. Now I do not drink whatsoever. I do not find joy in drinking, and I feel real bad next morning. What kind of spirits I liked, I can tell you that. When I lived in Maine, in the USA, in Old Orchard Beach, we used to drink every single day, have a drink or two. In the summer, go out. My friends had a restaurant, so after the restaurant was shut down at 10 or 11, we would go there and, get to the bar, mix our own drinks, things like that. We knew all the bartenders, obviously. I used to drink vodka martini with Grey Goose, very, very cold, a couple drops of martini vermouth, and then ice and vodka. Then when I lived in Russia, I used to drink cognac. Yeah, it's nothing special. I liked old cognac, Remy Martin, I believe, and the second brand I forgot, Hennessy, I think. And then I switched to Scotch whiskey, single malt, Glenmorangie, Macallan, rum. Went to Cuba, and I loved drinking rum in Cuba, but then I don't know. Anyway, sorry, it's a long answer. Now I don't drink at all. I drink tea. That's what I drink. This is my best spirit. English tea, English breakfast. I have two brands I like. First is the Twinings, and the second is Taylor's at Harrogate. And then actually Brody's is not bad. Not bad at all. That's pretty much all I drink. No beer, no wine, no spirits. I haven't drank in such a long time. I found I lost taste for it. went to a real nice restaurant some time ago by a famous chef, Gordon Ramsay, and I ordered a cocktail. It's called the Old Man, and it's different kinds of cognacs. And it was excellent cocktail, but didn't do much for me. It was more like entourage, stuff like that. So that's it, Boris. Thank you. Personal stream today. Let me get into more questions. A strange question from Sam K. Sam, does Mr. P wear man dresses? I'm not sure what a man dress is, so I apologize. Liz, I drank like fish when I was younger. Then I found out I was going to be a grandmother. I stopped overnight, 19 years now. So you've been a grandmother for 19 years? Wow, that's awesome. I can't really. My experience is different, but the result is the same. I also haven't drank in I don't know how many years. I think on average I have one beer a year, or perhaps two, and I have like one or two drinks per year. But again, I can keep the company. I remember I was drinking online with a Ukrainian family who came to visit us. That was December 2022. Okay, so it's quite some time ago. Anyway, so thanks for sharing. Mukul, how can I connect with you for a quick chat over a PM? What's the purpose of the chat? Please state it. Email me. I have a big problem that is time, free time. So if it's just a personal chat, I'm sorry, I don't have time for that. Something important, please write me. I would love to chat individually with everyone. Unfortunately, I barely make time for streams, Best part of martini is the blue cheese stuffed olive. Yeah, I forgot about the olives, but never had blue cheese, just regular olives. 3 on a little stick. Yes, and you take a sip and you chase it with olive. Gosh, good memories, Blackhead, prayers to everyone in need, wishing speedy recoveries. Thank you, friend. I usually include that in the prayer, and I will include it from you. Thank you. Pamtree Kate, I haven't touched a drop of alcohol for nearly 2 years. I have a bottle of Bailey's Irish cream in my fridge, and apparently it expired in 2020. Does it expire? There will be a day when your prescription meds will prohibit alcohol consumption. I hope that day will not come soon. I thought Putin is the richest person in the world. Can't he pay? He would never pay, even if he was richest person in the world. And I think his money is stashed away in different companies and accounts all over the world, you know. In Germany, even salt will expire. That's funny. Joe D, thank you so much. I really like your message. Just liked it. Since watching K live, switched to drinking tea a lot more than alcohol. Harvey. German beer and sometimes bitter almond on weekend over a meal and if I'm not driving. German beer is good, the best. Czech beer and German beer. I don't remember. I used to have is it Spaten, Pilsner Urquell. You know, I liked lager. You know. Pamela J. And I have some Asti Spumante, also old, also in fridge. I used to drink that. I used to drink champagne and Spumante. Lionel Slade, howdy friend, long time no see. How long until you become granddad? Only the Lord Almighty knows. I don't know. God's Dice, you know Leningrad Cowboys? No, I don't. Really? Turkey is sending new fighter jets to Ukraine. Frank in Texas, what a blow to Russia. Because Russia, I guess, Putin considered Erdogan as his close friend, Turkey ally, and so forth. And now Turkey is sending new fighter jets to Ukraine. What a blow. How can they be so stupid? How can I be... How does this work? When you don't really know what you're doing, how can they be so inadequate? Well, I guess it's a good thing, but it's just unbelievable. I think if you put a child in charge of Russia, a child probably would do a better job. Support from Sweden. I appreciate your channel. Thank you, Mr. A. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. You would be an awesome grandpa. Liz, I will be one day. My youngest is 7 years old, so I still have a long way to go there. Folks, I'm not saying that, I don't drink to look good, in front of the camera and stuff like that. I used to drink. I can't say I used to drink like fish, but every day we used to go out a lot, especially in the summers in Maine. In all my 20s, I was drank. Wasn't like drunk or anything, but we used to call it socially drinking. But then just, I switched to food. I should eat much less than I have been eating. So that's my alcohol now. It's about the oldest. They usually have kids first. Thank you, Jack. Very smart. John Belts, thank you so much. Thank you, fantastic. People drink to make other people look good. That's true. Okay. Mushroom tea. Gloria, I'll pass on that. It's English breakfast, regular tea is good for me, you know. Canadian military vet, that's another thing I'd like to do. I'd like to see what's going on with Turkey sending military jets to Ukraine. That's very interesting. Time check. Folks, time is up. Thank you so very much. This is my pleasure to see everyone came here. Thank you for giving me a chance to deliver my message, and thanks for this private this live stream chat. This is fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to invite everyone to finish the stream with usual prayer. If you're religious, if you're not, please join us and pray anyway. Or you can send good wishes to people, good vibes, good energy. Pray to universe, ask something from universe. But to me, it's all the same. So please join us in prayer. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ, for everything that you have given us. Thank you for the food that you put on our tables. Thank you for the roofs you've given over our heads. Thank you for the loved ones that you have surrounded us with, and people who love us and people who we love. Give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that we make sky above their heads peaceful and safe, and raise them in a way that when they grow up, they will make this place a better world and they will be better people than us. Meanwhile, keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch the hearts of those who are responsible and capable, and wake humans up inside them. Make those people humans again. Make them see what they have done. Make them understand the suffering that other people are going through, and please have them make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Help every single Ukrainian. Please send them angels. Help every single Ukrainian who has been affected. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia, assemble an army of strongest angels with sharpest swords and knives, led by Saint Michael, and send them to earth like heavenly avalanche, like the army of light, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country, who we know by their names and by their faces. Have angels help good people run Russia and make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling. Send safe travels. Everyone who is in trouble, in dire straits and high waters, please send safety. Everyone who needs your help of any kind and reaching out to you, please hear them and answer them. And anyone who is seeking for any kind of asylum, please send good people to help. And please help single mothers who are raising their children and struggling to make ends meet. Send help. Dear Lord, please help all the sick, addicted, depressed, homeless, jobless, those who are cold and shivering right now, betrayed, those who are not feeling well about themselves and their lives, those who are feeling lonely and alone. Please help everyone who is in need of help. Surround them with your love and your warmth, and make it so people feel it. They feel you right next to them, behind them, helping them. they feel your love, they feel your strength, and that love, you standing and helping them, that feeling will help them to get through life and become happy again, and to solve all the problems that they have, and have better lives. Dear Lord, thank you for letting us to get together in this community and keep on getting together every single day and praying. Thank you for everyone who is praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayers and make everyone's wishes come true. Thank you so very much, dear Lord. I would like to ask you to help a few people who need help. They are a moderator of this channel, Mammy Kay, and her mother, who's in the hospital. Please send recovery and send strength to the family, and send recovery to mom. Richard, Joel's Rames, little girl name is Sarah. She's fighting for her life. Please send her recovery and send her parents strength. Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, and Svetlana. Michael Milkevitz. Grace Philosophy, Randolph, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church. EMS paramedic Liz. Please help Susie Mailer, soothe her soul, surround her with your love and warmth, and send her strength. Also, please have her feel our love and our prayers for her. Lori Miles' husband, Karen from Maine. Wayne, who's fighting 2 cancers. Life. Terry Carter, fiancé and in-laws, Joan Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Boss Simon, Alvin's sister Pamela J, Michael Yukon, Stefan from Sweden, the Highwayman, David Porter, his family and everyone from Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Redman Halfbreed, Mary Doran, Warren Spees, Jay Spike, Tracy, Natalia Blaga, Eric Quinn, Gabing with Gary, James Marston, Frank Caprio, Jim in Houston, Paula W., please help with blood clot, Frank in Texas, Karen's mom Dorothy, Tim Mayers, please help with lung cancer, send recovery, Larry B., Colleen's dad, Dominic, Olga and her son Alexei, Jason Carney, please send complete recovery, and everyone who is not feeling well, please send recovery. Sandra Dunn, Dave, Dawn, Scan family members and grandson, and everyone who needs help in that family. Kyle E.'s wife, Rhonda McGillis, Dory, Morgan L., and Larson's daughter, Hannah, Electron's family, Jonah Byra, Boggy Berger and his 2 sons, Deborah, Kurt, Mike O'Neill, thank you for entering his life again, George Ruberty, Sandra Dunn, okay, Liz Dombrell, Darla, White Lightning, Yorkie's mom, Julia Haney, and Margaret. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you very much. Amen.
Friends, thank you so much for coming back, giving me another chance. Thank you for listening to me, talking to me, and praying with me. Thank you. Please come back for another live stream tomorrow. It's going to be just a stream with no live stream chat. It's going to be a pleasure and honor to see you there. Thank you so very much. I would like to remind you that don't forget that you're awesome and you rock. And I would like to ask everyone to finish the stream by saying out loud along with me, Carthago delenda est.